All right, folks, good evening. Another Friday, and we bid you all welcome to another date on the Journalist Hangout Show. I am Citizen Jones. Today on the program, Miyetti Allah, Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, calls on federal government to check the influx of herdsmen from neighboring countries as Amotekun arrests 37 herdsmen, 5,000 cattle for violating the quit notice in Ondo forest reserves. Again, President Buhari kicks against imposition of election candidates by politicians, and later on, court upholds Okada and Keke restriction in Lagos, just as state government remains keen on phasing out yellow buses. Let me report I'm hanging out with BKO. Babajide Kolade Uchitoju. Did I greet you?
I greet you, Citizen.
Between last Friday and today, a lot of water don't pass under the bridge.
Yes.
But the bridge still they stand.
Bridge still stands.
We they count the water.
The pillars are strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on the water where they pass through. But Dotun Oladipo has just joined us. Dotun, a happy new year, a happy survival to you.
Happy New Year to Citizen.
I greet you
nice
too.
seeing you this year again.
Yeah, I like your sporting. Your beard is, our brother is graying.
Yeah, but it's inevitable.
Oh, yeah.
How we are unable to see your own white beard?
No. I know they grow beard. I know they grow beard, but I get for head.
Let's see it. Let us see it.
So the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, we get going now. Now, slowly but steadily, we have become masters of our own reality in this country. Cattle breeding is more than a century-old ritual in our country. We've refused to move with the times by modernizing this very important enterprise, just as the Joneses have done in their countries. We must pay for this choice. Cattle breeding and the breeders themselves are becoming endangered. No less than 37 herdsmen and some 5,000 cattle have been arrested by the Southwest Security Outfit, Amotekun, for flouting a quit notice from the Ondo forest reserves. Now, the cattle breeders are horrified and they want the federal government to wade in. To them, the culprits are invaders from neighboring countries. Jide, you believe them?
Yes, and especially because it is the mainstream Miyetti Allah that has raised this alarm.
Okay.
There are two Miyetti Allah groups. The other one is the fake Miyetti Allah group, just using the name. The Miyetti Allah group, led by Kirua and the secretary, Baba Otman Ngezarma, is the authentic Miyetti Allah group. Is the authentic Miyetti Allah group. So look at what they are saying. Their own language is never temperate.
It's intemperate.
Yes, they make sense. They show wisdom, and they are constantly ready to engage government and assist government in solving all of these problems. And they are also committed to the welfare of the ordinary pastoralist. That is the Cattle Breeders Association. That's the Miyetti. In fact, and what they are seeking now is for the Corporate Affairs Commission to wade in and show clearly that this is the Miyetti Allah group, so that the other people, the interlopers, can find another name. Because the other group is better known for its notorious interventions in national issues.
But
in terms of the
but you know,
terrible
always,
language
there's always
and divisive comments.
There's always a starting point. When it started brewing, what did the original Miyetti Allah do?
I'm aware that for the past 3 years, they've been making a noise about this. That look, remember when the other group said some things about Shiwaju?
Okay. It was
said,
the other group.
Yes, it's that same notorious group. And we said, no. Remember too when people were killed in Benue State. It was the other group that came forward to say, look, this happened because they were doing this. You will never find in Gelzarma's group speak in that language. Never. And they have spoken to Fulani leaders to try to rein in the other fellow who just continues to use the name of Miyetti Allah to try to stoke up tension in our country, to deepen ethnic division in our country, and to say a lot of things capable of setting our country ablaze.
And you ask pointedly, so what do they want?
They are the ones who can best explain, but from their actions, you know that they do not mean well for our country. But these ones, look at what they are saying. They said government should do something about the influx of headsmen. Now, a lot of this from outside Africa. Now, a lot of these headsmen that we see, we just go, this Fulani headsmen, this and that. A lot of them have always said that. A lot of them are not Nigerians. A lot of the bandits killing our people for fun, they are not Nigerians. So, but of course, the security agencies must get down to brass tacks and kick these people out of our country or bring them to justice, because they are giving the headsmen who are going about their legitimate livelihood, they are giving them a bad name. So we must not allow our borders to remain this porous, whereby all kinds of characters come in without noble intentions, and they come and kill our people. This is the message of the authentic Miyetti Allah group. That is what we are talking about today. A government, do something about these porous borders. Do something about the proliferation of weapons. Do something about headsmen latching upon the so-called ECOWAS free movement between West African nations.
Because it doesn't talk about criminality.
Yes, it doesn't say criminals should be permitted to come into your country.
Doctor, we can go there now. When we talk about the porosity of our borders, what do we really mean?
Well, it means anybody just coming in. Any kind of goods.
So how porous, please, educate me.
We've always known it's porous, extremely so. That's why you find out that even the Nigerian customs, which is supposed to be at the border, to check influx of cars and other goods coming in illegally, they sometimes go to warehouses because already those things are found their ways in, and they are not checkable. If the border was not porous, it wouldn't have been so. These things would have been stopped at the border. But there are so many entry points.
So we have
all over.
The immigration, customs, which is the other one?
Well, the port health is also at the border. You have NDLEA. All of them, they are at the border.
And yet, the porosity endures.
It's massive.
Okay, well, how does it hit you when Miyetti Allah is talking about going back to what we had talked about before, the schools for, what do you call these schools?
The Amajiri schools.
Amajiri schools. They talked about the Amajiri schools.
Nomadic
education,
Yes, that has always been there. The government has tried in its own way to provide this. But for those who migrate southwards, it's going to be tough asking the Southwest government, for instance, to say, we are going to start nomadic education for you. It's going to be tough. So at the end of the day, what we need to do, which is what the government has been talking about over the years, is to modernize cow rearing or cattle rearing in this
breeding,
country.
yeah.
Or breeding. We can't afford to be moving around with all these animals. They don't even produce as much as when you breed them properly. We see the way they do it in other countries. They've given us the statistics.
Yeah.
You take a cow from here, from the north to the south, by the time it comes, it can't even produce up to 10% of its capacity again. Even those who are engaged in the trade. It does
not feed well and so on.
Feed well. Even those who are engaged in the trade don't know they are losing.
Yeah.
But with this movement, they don't even know they are losing. So it's good for us to come to a situation where we can modernize. For instance, we are trying to bring in vaccine for COVID-19. We're already scared of where to store it. And that's the same thing that is happening with
a temperature of below 40 degrees
because the problem will
Celsius,
now be if you produce so much milk from these cows, how do you preserve them? What do you do with it?
Good.
It's a whole lot of issues that we need to come back and address.
Is it asking for too much, too late?
To do what?
To do what is conventional.
No,
in the 21st century Nigeria.
We just have to keep, you see, we just have to keep talking to our people. Change is something that Nigerians don't readily admit, embrace. You just have to keep enlightening them. These are practices that stretch over a century. So to get people to change will really take some time. But we have to start from somewhere. Look at a state like Zamfara. They are already creating a place, a big place, for cattle breeding. They built their own Ruga facility for cattle. And that's what the governor of Kano too is doing. In fact, at a point he said, see, let all cattle breeders come to Kano. If they say they don't want you in any part of the country, come to Kano. We have the land.
So, but I see the logic, and he said anybody who wants meat will come here.
Yes, and he will make money from it.
Which is not asking for too much.
He's a wily old man, the man in Kano. He's already imagining how much money he will make if Kano becomes the
center.
So, and all of what you need for the cattle. In dry season, these people will walk dozens of kilometers just to find a watering hole for their cattle to drink water. But if we embrace cattle breeding in the proper way, all of the water that you need will be available, medicines, there will be resident veterinary doctors on site, there will be transportation, security. So even the issue of cattle rustling will be a thing of the past, because cattle rustling thrives because they are constantly in the bush, and those guys wielding automatic weapons can easily waylay them in the bush there, you know. Of course, the Miyetti people were complaining about the fact that in one local government, Mariga local government in Niger State, 1,700 cattle, you know, got rustled, and up to 5 million have been rustled in just a few years due to the activities of these bandits. But if all of your cattle, maybe in a state, are localized at one point, I'm just using a state as an illustration, you don't need to move around. And the cattle will be a lot bigger. You think...
Yeah, Jide, but you must reconcile this logic of yours with the fact that these folks are nomads. They are itinerant.
That's what I've said, that, look, change is not something that people readily like to embrace. But it doesn't mean that that conversation should stop. We have to keep talking to these people. Let them see the gains that they are going to reap from changing their ways of breeding cattle Because at the end of the day, they too, even their health will be better.
Okay.
You don't have to trek hundreds of kilometers. Stay in one place. Look at the visuals of, this is Wasiu Ayinde, the Fuji star. This is his own ranch. Okay. And you can see how his cattle, they are big.
They are healthy.
They're healthy.
Yes. They are right there. They are being fed. He even has a camel. He has a camel.
Yeah.
You know, you can see this one, for example.
Yeah.
Won't you like to have this? See how big it is? So, right, doesn't have to move several kilometers just to eat. So this is the thing. Now, I believe that when every state, especially states of the north, show greater commitment to this, the Ruga thing, this whole thing will end. Because the friction and the bloodletting arising from herders, farmers conflict is a big problem.
Yeah.
Nobody loves a situation in which you spend the whole year, planting, and when it's time for you to reap the reward of months of hard work, somebody will just send cattle into your farmland and destroy all of what you have been. It's like killing someone slowly, and that's what causes. Look at some herders were killed in Plateau State. It was a clear case of reprisal attack.
Yeah.
This cycle has to stop, and one of the ways by which it can stop is for a new method of breeding to be embraced. And
Bolaji, if you like, a new impetus, because the breeders, the MACBAN, the Cattle Breeders Association folks, were in the meeting with the Sultan himself.
Yes.
And so the Sultan is also voicing his opinion. The Sultan is an influential member of society. You expect whatever he says to be gospel, right? Wrong?
Well, that should be it. He's even the head of, is the patron of MACBAN. So whatever he says should be, but we know the way it is. Those who perpetrate this evil, they don't listen to all of these
perhaps
things.
Belong to the other group.
They don't listen to all. They don't even hear all of this that we're talking about. So it's now for those who are the funders, those who have the economic capacity to put these animals on the road, to stop them. Because like we have said, it should be a win-win situation. For instance, if you have a ranch, like we've seen now, a farmer can go there and get donks for his farm, which was what they said they were doing in the past, where your cattle is here, my farm is here, I give you cassava, you give me dung to plant. So everybody was cohabitating. So it made sense to do that until this criminality came into it.
In these days of social media, Dotun, what you upload would be misleading. Some of the visuals you see on social media about the cattle, the breeders.
I completely agree on that, because there were some that we saw in the southeast where they said they were burning down the communities of the Fulani, and there was nothing like that.
And damaging crops and so on.
And said there was nothing like that.
You understand what I mean?
And then, but we still need to know that it is because we have found ourselves in this dire situation. That's why we're having it. If we weren't in a conflict situation, it won't come up. It's only, people only pray on what is happening. They pray on it. It's not as if nothing is happening. You don't build something on nothing. And that's what the social media is all about.
Yeah, okay.
Whipping up sentiments.
So in taking this home, therefore, at this hangout, what we do is provoke debates, give you options based on facts at our disposal. So how do we take it home?
Yeah, I think that the message of Miyetti Allah is clear. I think also that the message of the governor of Ondo State is also clear. The governor does not want open grazing. Open grazing leads to conflict between farmers and herders. The governor does not want night grazing. Night grazing usually leads to encroachment on farmlands. Most of the destruction of farmlands happen in the night. The governor does not want underage fellows to be looking after cattle, or taking cattle around. He does not want that. And all of what we have said, including the fact that herders should vacate the games reserve of the state,
because
unless they are prepared.
They are reserved.
Yes. Oh, he even said, okay, that if you are prepared to register with the state government, they can leave you there. But they want to know those who inhabit.
Who is there? Yeah.
Those who inhabit those games reserves, you know, because that's usually where they take kidnapped victims to. So, and Miyetti Allah agreed absolutely with the governor that all of those demands are okay.
Let me just tease you a little. I'm looking, do you know, I'm looking, in my mind's eyes, I'm looking at the Yankari Game Reserve, and you unleash cattle on the reserve.
We are going very far.
Okay.
There is the Kainji Lake Park.
All right.
There is the National Park in Oyo State. They are close to us here. And bandits are running riots in all of those places. They're taking over. Games reserve that we abandoned have now become the home of criminally minded people. That's where kidnapped victims are taken to. And they are so big that they will always find the kind of foliage that they want. And
build camps, huge camps in
big
them.
camps inside them. So this is the dilemma. Okay. In the past, it was fun to go to those places. If you try to move close to those places now, you are likely to pay with your life.
Doctor, as we sit here, no less than 37 herders have been arrested, and also 5,000 cattle impounded, is that the word now, by Amotekun folks.
Yes.
So that's another chapter altogether.
Well, it's just a continuation of what should be. Because when there are laws, they should be followed.
Okay.
It's been said over and over. The fact that you are not aware that a law is in existence is not an excuse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A law remains a law. More so now, they know that there are rules and regulations. Government has said, look, don't go here. Once you go past this boundary, you are gone.
Doctor, and in our environment, bad behavior is hardly punished.
Well, we're now in a situation where, at least for this particular one, it's going to be punished.
Oh, you think Jide believes you?
Well, at least with what has happened.
With what we can see.
With what has happened.
That's a step in the right direction. Don't behave like we are a nation not governed by laws. Don't always
or statutes.
Have it at the back of your mind that whatever happens, nothing will happen, that you get away with it. Respect the laws of the land. Respect constituted authority. Apologies to the late Governor Ajimobi. Respect constituted authority. Otherwise, you will be dealt with severely. So let them not go to the places where they've been told they can't go to. Nobody has said leave Ondo State. The only propagandists are saying that. The governor never said leave Ondo State. He said don't go to the games reserve. And if you want to use our reserves, forest reserve, then be prepared to register with us so that we know that.
We have a big company. We have somebody joining us. The National Secretary of the Miyetti Allah Group, Afa Uthman Ngezurama. I hope I got that right.
Ngezurama Uthman.
Oh, yeah. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Good evening, Baba.
Good evening, Baba. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, so what can you tell us quickly, sir?
Hello?
Go on. What can you tell us something?
On what? Through the content.
What we are discussing.
Yeah.
On your request to the government to stop the influx of headers.
Yeah, what you said
Nigeria.
at the meeting with,
The meeting with the Sultan.
Yeah.
Let's shed more light on it.
Shed some more light. Let's know what happened or what is on your mind regarding your meeting with the Sultan.
What the meeting was out with the Sultan is to address these security issues that is currently taking place in the country.
Go on.
Okay.
So what are the decisions taken?
Well, the decisions taken were to ensure our commitment towards peace, to reintegrate the peaceful disposition of our members towards resolving all problems.
All right. The position. Okay, let's take you to Ondo State. Ondo State says keep our laws, stay clear of government reserve areas. But then, if you must operate there, let's have you documented. You agree with that?
You see, we are not opposed to anything that will bring peace wherever in this country, and it is general that because of the growing population of the country against a land that doesn't increase, this calls for an effective planning, at least for farmers and pastoralists to coexist peacefully. So, and a reserve, once if a place is a reserve, reserves are normally areas set aside for future engagements. Forest reserve, wherever you hear of a forest reserve, it's an area that farming is not allowed, cattle rearing is not allowed, bush burning, fuel exploitation, and all this is not allowed. It's an area set aside for future engagements. If the overriding interest is for the farmers, then the government can decide and say this reserve, part of this reserve is going to be used for farming. If the government decides that it is for grazing, it will say, well, this area is now reserved for grazing. So this is why grazing reserves are always set aside for future developments. But if it is a grazing reserve, this is an area designated for grazing. So we know this and we accept this.
All right. Finally, what is your attitude towards what's your attitude towards grazing in itself?
Grazing, you see, Baba, we have a pastoralist population that is still practicing the primitive system of animal husbandry because for decades no attempt has been made to transform the lives of these people into modernized animal husbandry. And today, because of the growing population, there is the need for government to come up with some sort of settlement model so that these pastoralists can be settled once and for all. This era of movement from looking for free pasture is almost about to be over, even in the northern part of the country where these pastoralists exist.
Okay.
So because of the growing population, this calls for an effective plan, at least for these two professions to coexist peacefully together.
Okay.
The era of free movement is about to be over, even in the northern part of the country. So all we are calling for is let government come up with models that can begin to settle these pastoralists. But you see, this is something that will take place as a process. It's not something that will take place overnight.
Yeah.
Because this grazing that the pastoralists are engaged in is both a business and a way of life for them. It's a way of life for them because they inherited it from their forefathers and they are still practicing it. Because there has never been any attempt to change them into the modernized system of animal husbandry. They don't know it.
Okay.
So they are still practicing the primitive system.
All right. And finally, Alaji, let's look at the pretenders, the so-called fake breeders.
Headers.
Fake headers, I'm sorry. And they are influx into our country.
You say what?
The foreign headsmen, and their freewheeling attitude of coming in and out of our country at will.
Yes, you see, this is also something that the government has to do something about. Because of the ECOWAS transshumance protocol that allows for movement of cattle from the ECOWAS countries. You know, there are crazy routes that are being monumented, demarcated for those foreign pastoralists to move right from Burkina Faso, Niger, pass through Nigeria, go up to Central Africa. These routes are there in the forest.
Okay.
Because of the ECOWAS protocol. But I believe the neighboring countries have a way of taking in the pastoralists who are coming in and going out. But Nigeria, because of our foreign borders, I don't think there is anything like that. Take in the influence of foreign pastoralists so that we will know who are coming in and with what, and why are they going to, and when are they coming back to leave this country. Because there has never been anything like that, so we cannot rule out the possibility of these foreign pastoralists coming in with criminals or coming in with all sorts of things that can cause problems to our country.
Okay. We wish you Godspeed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Baba.
Okay, just spoken with the General Secretary of the Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Alpha Uthman
Baba. Baba Othman
Gazorma. Yeah, thank you for your time. Okay, then we'll take a break here and come back. Please don't go away. All right, folks, to our next story. You know, it's patently true that if voting changed anything, they would have made it illegal. I hope you understand that. This is why in our jurisdiction, democracy is all about elections and more elections. And this explains why the actors determine the candidates, thereby leaving the elector with very little or no choice at all. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed his objection to the imposition of candidates on the All Progressives Congress, APC, by politicians. Whenever it is election time, that's what he said. Now, more parties are in the works, even as he tells the youth, in the words of the Nigerian playwright James Ene Enshaw, this is your chance. Dr. You have the first take. This is your chance. This is what Mr. President is telling the younger generation.
We've always had that. But the big question is what has always played out. In the last, since 1999 when we returned to democracy, the strongest of the challenges you have had with elections, the disputes, they've been within the parties. And that itself is grave danger to democracy. That is why you see those that will believe are big parties, once they come into power, they begin to witness huge crisis. When PPP was in power, it was a struggle to get the candidates. Now APC is in power in most of the states and at the federal level. It's also a problem. In cases...
So you think imposition is...
Imposition is hostile.
Okay.
Because you see now what happened in Zamfara with the APC, where they shot themselves in the leg, was a matter of who becomes the candidate.
That's it.
And it was in the party that they stopped themselves.
And the APC was in pole position.
Yes, to win. The case in Edo is almost, for the general election, which is the statewide, is almost resolved. What they are trying to resolve now, which PDP is putting its eyes into APC and APC is putting its eyes into PDP, is internal. PDP is saying the process that produced the APC candidate inside its own party is wrong. APC is saying the same thing of PDP, meaning that they are looking for loopholes. So it means that basically politicians are the ones who are undoing our democracy, because there is no democracy within the parties. So what they do to us is say, we can't allow you make your choices. So we're going to give you those we feel you should vote for, and not those that the people within the party feel they should vote for.
Gidi, you know, let's steer this away from what he has just said. Mr. President has good intentions, and good intentions, we are told, ordinarily will not harm anybody. But Margaret Thatcher, the grand old Iron Lady, said, no one would have remembered the Good Samaritan if he had only good intentions, but he had money. If you understand my logic, he had money too.
You must implement your plans.
Yeah.
That's what will cause people to remember you. Your good deeds will live after you. That's basically the point that Thatcher was trying to make, or that she made. When you look at the way our politicians behave, we've turned politics to a winner-takes-all affair in our country. It's been turned to the law of the jungle, where always carries the day. Governors during the Second Republic will not sit on the high table at party meetings. In fact, I was told of a particular incident when the former governor of, the late governor of old Bender State,
Ambrose Ali?
Yes, arrived at a UPN meeting late. He was not allowed to get inside
Get to the front. Okay.
No, he was not allowed to get inside.
The venue.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I must have missed that.
Until the break time. That's a governor. Can anyone do it in today's Nigeria? Governors believe that the party belongs to them. That's why the governor will say, I can't work with this person.
Remove him as chairman.
And it is gospel.
Yes.
That is it.
A governor who overruled the decision of his party. That's what we have now. You know, the president was talking to young people, youths. He had to say these things to encourage them, because many young people would like to get involved in the political process. But they know that with the big politicians, they can't go far unless you are anointed by one of the big politicians. You are just going to spend your money for nothing. What they call Osanwo Omogo here in Lagos.
Osanwo
Omogo.
Ipe. Pekin, they stupid.
Your Yoruba is good now. Why are you deliberately twisting? When you see the money that you spend as a new entrant, who is not anointed, into a party, is what is called Owomogo. Meaning that all of that money is just a waste. It's a waste.
Money misroad.
It has to queue up. But if you leave the feed level, let everyone play by the rules. That same person that you said, Osanwo Omogo, can get to the front of the queue if the people want him. But you stop people from getting to the front of the queue because you do not like them. Sometimes even when your party has decided, do you know party leaders, it is during the election season that they make all kinds of money. They take money from you that they will make you the candidate of the party, but they will not. They will spend your money. They won't make you candidate.
I'm not putting you on the spot. The APC is in power.
Yes.
Who is the national leader of the APC?
National leader. The national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the leader of the party is the president.
So you go help me here.
But should that be? But should that be?
No. Let's not go into that. That's not
No. But you know,
the leader of the party.
Asking,
the leader. Let the person. The leader of the party is the president. But Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the role he played in bringing all of those legacy parties together, is called the national leader of the party. I attended the APC National Consultative Forum meeting in Abuja, at the Ladikwali Hall in 2014, and I heard what the president said about Asiwaju. He said clearly that if not for him, we would not have been able to have
Let me
these
pause you.
parties all come together. So it's even good in a way that you ask me.
In my Akwa Ibom state, who is the leader of the party? The chairman or the governorship candidate?
Today's Nigeria, the governor have become the leaders of the party because they
the exclusion of the chairman of the party in the state.
Yes, because they are saying they are the ones who fund the party. As an elder, you know that it was not like that in those days.
Oh, it was not.
No governor can look at the Sakinloye in the face. Nobody. Nobody. In those days, parties mobilized support for the candidate. Parties funded the candidate. You can never, as a candidate, be bigger than the party. Now, what we have is a situation in which a governor wins an election, all of the people who work for him, he pushes them away and wants to run the thing.
Because he has the big stake.
Yeah, because now governor, he sees himself as the leader of the party. He now runs the government to the exclusion of everybody. But you needed a platform to even become governor. Without that platform, you couldn't have become governor. It wasn't your name that was on the ballot. It was the name of the party that was on the ballot.
All right.
So it's a good thing the president has spoken in this way.
Okay.
But what we would like to see is for this culture of imposing candidates, even against the wish of the electorate, many times. That culture has to stop. Let me tell you, in December 2014, people like Governor Otom of Benue now, people like Atiku Bagudu, they were in the PDP. They lost the primaries because it was clear that the party was not going to let them win the primaries. They now left for the APC. The APC had amended its rules to allow you to be able to aspire for any position, even if you join the party today. So they now went. Hold on, let me finish. They now joined the APC and won the primaries at the APC. That became governors. Today they are governors. It was because PDP tried to impose other people on them that they left in anger. Look at the lack of level playing field was what pushed 5 governors to leave the PDP. It was an unprecedented action. They left the party for Goodluck Jonathan.
Just before the election?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the first time that a sitting president will be walked out on by members of his own party. And at the end of the day, PDP lost power at the center. So there's always a lesson to learn from these things.
Yeah, except Mr. President says many parties are in the pipeline. You believe him?
I don't think we need any more.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it there. Go to our next story. But Mr. President, don't forget the quote I credited to the old so-called, not so-called, old iron lady. The Good Samaritan would not have been popular if he had no money. And Jide broke it down. Okay, to our next story. You know, a mega city status for Lagos State goes beyond a cherished idea or ambition. It's more than deserves this stature. It more than deserves this stature. Its population and burgeoning demand. Successive administrators and administrations, if you like, had attempted to sweet sell this dream to a finicky population that's suspicious of every move of government. An attempt, for example, to restrict operations of motorcycles and tricycles or keke on some routes is sure to be challenged in court. Human rights attorney Olukoya Ogungbeje went to court praying for non-restriction of commercial motorcycles and tricycles from 6 local government areas of the state and 9 LCDAs. But Justice Mohammed Liman dismissed the case for want of merit. So, Jide, who is against a megacity status for good old Lagos?
Should be against the megacity status for Lagos, and no one should quarrel with the government about the strategies that it intends to deploy to get Lagos to attain that status. The truth is, Some of the things we see in Lagos, we no longer see even in some of the states in Nigeria. I never believed that commercial motorcycling could be banned in Kano. But Boko Haram put everyone on the edge. And government felt the best thing to do was to ban commercial motorcycling.
It remains banned.
It remains banned. It remains banned. If they see two persons on a bike, you are going to be arrested. If you are going alone, no problem.
Except now your wife.
Huh? No. The thing is, the way to know, maybe if you can explain that your wife, I don't know how they do it there, you know, but I know that you can't, in Sabongeri, for example, you can't be carrying passengers. The kekes are there, the tricycles. Yeah. So the tricycles will move people around. That was their strategy. In Enugu and all of these places, they and even Abia, the motorbikes are been banned. You know. Yeah. So, but what do we have?
River outlawed them.
Many places now. What do we have? Illegal aliens come into Nigeria to come and ride motorbikes in Lagos. Go to Lekki. A lot of those guys can't speak Nigerian language, but as soon as you enter Lekki phase 1, you see these urchins riding motorbikes because they believe that in Lagos they can move around. Government has to visit the prescriptions of the law on some of these people. Yeah. And I'm also happy that government is saying they are going to phase out the yellow buses.
Oh yeah.
Yellow buses are ugly. And the drivers are incorrigible, so almost impossible to manage them. So they are now asking for private sector people to come.
You know what my crazy brain is telling me in the NSAS Wahala? I may be wrong. Those buses wouldn't hit.
No, see the plan.
But you
plan.
got what I mean.
I understand, but let's leave that one now.
I don't leave that.
The original plan, they too would be used. But the blue buses will be much more attractive and pleasing on the eye than this rickety, dirty. When people come to Lagos, let them know that Lagos is a beautiful place to be. Let them see evidence of modernity. Not this ugliness and all that. Look at the way Lagos is represented. You see, when they want to talk about Lagos, they just go and bring those yellow, ugly-looking buses. Lagos can be better represented. And the riders too, they've got to do something about them. They are breaking medians all over the place. I'm happy by the way that they are repairing those medians. They must repair those medians and make them difficult to break. If you go to Ogun State, their medians, you can't break their medians. Their medians are almost as wide as a bus. So let transportation be modernized in Lagos. I'm not opposed to that. And anyone who tries to stand in the way should be arrested and brought to justice.
Dr. So who is afraid of is a mega status, city status for Lagos?
Well, I think it's those who don't wish Lagos well. That's my conclusion.
And they may not be Lagosians.
Well, from what we know, a lot of us who are in Lagos are not Lagosians. Some of us are
aliens are here. Undocumented aliens.
So many of them. So, but
me with them born here, I feel claim Lagos.
You feel claim them.
Go on, yeah.
But he has said it all. There is a need to modernize.
Yeah.
The way we are now in Lagos, there is no mass transportation. Because
in the strict sense of the word.
Yes, in the real sense of the word, sir. The trains are not fully functional.
See, you can see them, you spy on them.
Exactly.
There's no orderliness.
No orderliness.
No.
Underlying orderliness.
No orderliness.
Yeah.
No rail. The water that should provide some huge relief is not being maximized. So when we get to the
way
point,
they are packed.
So just everywhere.
Is this right?
Once we get to the point where we're able to correct these things, we'll get better. But my own fear again is this: for even the new buses that are coming in, we still need to check the drivers.
I hear
Their attitude is no different
I
from
hear they are
these yellow
planning
bus
to
drivers.
absorb some of these.
Yes, but the attitude must change.
It has to change.
Because if you look at it, we went from Okada to Marwa. Those guys transited from riding Okada to Marwa,
yes.
and it was the same issue.
Don't look at this, Danfo. You can change the driver when he drives a new bus.
You can't change him.
You can't.
His orientation
okay.
must change. Because some of these guys, using these new buses, they are different for boys.
When Ghana, for instance, when Ghana came here to copy the BRT, you remember? But do you remember?
But the culture in Ghana is different.
Yes.
You can't be driving in Ghana on a 2-lane road and just be jumping.
I'm saying they came to...
Or driving against traffic.
They came to look at the BRT, how it works.
Yes.
Tells you it is possible.
It is possible. But what we're saying is, it is the attitude. That is the problem. We have to change it.
Do you know that sometimes even these boys, ordinary singlet or this Hank singlet,
that is
they wear it and they are driving.
Those way they wear.
Looking dirty.
And when they come against you, I can say this on TV because hardly they go on those buses again.
No, it's risky. They even sell alcohol synthesized with herbs inside the motor parks. So why won't they be drunk?
Why not even? We're not even talking of inside the bus itself.
Yeah.
Okay, those all those
small
ones.
I hear we must go. I hear we must go. I wish we should take a ride.
All those small sachets of this thing.
And the man in towel go there for
with the dirty singlet.
Okay, Lagos must assume the mega city status, whether or not una like am. I'm sorry, no be me, na government talker. Dr. Oladikwa, many thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. But you know something? If you can't pay, send the bills to us. Okay. Jide, thank you for your time too. Nobody when you can avoid it.
Let's meet at cooperative.
No, you mean
you are going to pay for everything?
No, I will. At least I get small money here.
I trust you, sir.
That will just about do it for the show this evening. And of course, you may watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Our job is done. I'm out of here. See us or be with us on Sunday. Bye-bye now.